Hello and welcome to the London Oratory Church, sometimes known as the Brompton Oratory. My name is Ben Bloor and I'm the organist here and have been since 2016. We are very lucky to have 3 pipe organs at the Oratory, a small Peter Collins chamber organ, a 1975 2-manual Flentrop organ, and then we have this landmark instrument here, the 1954 J.W. Walker organ. It's a very important and influential instrument, and it was actually put in and designed by one of my predecessors, Ralph Downes. As a reaction to the more sort of romantic style of organ design, which tried to imitate the large orchestral forces of a symphony orchestra, Ralph wanted to take the principles of organ design back to the Baroque period, prioritising clarity and sonority. With that said, every single stop has a reason for being there, contributing something to the whole, while also sort of standing on its own 2 legs as a sort of individualistic sounding stop. For example, even with the principal chorus on the grate, I can add the 8-foot flute and hopefully you can hear the difference. Some important things to note. The organ is situated in the gallery on the side of the church, about halfway down. Obviously the best place to get the full impact of the sound is in the chapel directly opposite, but in fact it's voiced so well, along with the generous acoustic we have, that it actually manages to squeeze into every nook and cranny of the building. The grate and choir departments are situated next to each other. The grate is here and the choir is right next to it, so they have sort of equal prominence, if you like, and then the swell sits right on top and the pedal is sort of around the back and sides. There are a lot of quintadinas and mutation stops on this organ. In fact, I think you can make at least 1 cornet on each manual, each with a different character and sound. Interestingly, there are no 4-foot reeds on the whole organ. The swell only has an 8-foot echo trumpet, and with the box closed it passes off as a sort of nasally oboe quite well. The Cromorne on the choir is absolutely enormous and I love it. You'll hear that in a bit as well. Pedal reeds, we have a 2-foot trumpet, very Dutch style, and we obviously use that every day. And then an 8-foot trumpet, which is very good at underpinning the plenum. The 16-foot bombard does exactly what it says on the tin and obliterates everything else in its path. A few little eccentricities of the organ for any sort of organ nerds out there. There used to be only 2 general pistons, only 2 on the whole organ, but thankfully we now have 96 channels of memory with 5 general pistons for each level. But to lock and unlock the channels, you have to lift up this music desk, and then there's a little button on the lip here, which is a bit strange. There's a sequencer to scroll through the generals, although the plus button is sort of on the wrong side, because when it was put in, the person who put it in can't drive. There are also 2 sets of 5 buttons on this jam here, and that actually doesn't control the generals, but rather the camera system up there. So I don't know who wired this thing, but it's nothing's where you think it is. There are 2 ratchet pedals, one on the left which toggles swell to grate on and off, and then a really important one, a grate sub-octave, which adds an awful lot to the grand tutti when things are going. And then with everything. Patrick Russell, our current Director of Music, who knew Ralph well and worked with him for a number of years here at the Oratory, gave a similar talk and a demonstration. I'd like to just quote a bit of what he said, which I feel is really important. So if you take anything away from this video, let it be this. There's one more crucial ingredient to Downes' genius, and that is his ability to see how certain individual stops had a relevance right across the repertoire and style spectrum. The eclectic ideal for Downes was not a magpie-like pilfering of odd noises from different traditions. It was more defining of what was in common between the traditions, and then binding those elements together with his own very particular oral skill. So the oratory organ will always sound like the oratory organ, but it can convey, if not an authentic sound world for different schools, then certainly a convincingly varied and appropriate sound world, based on understanding of the organ and an understanding of the sort of instrument the music was written for. I'll now attempt to give a demonstration of some of the stops. We're going to start off with the flutes on their own to start with, swell, quiet and great, and then I'll couple them together. To add on to that the viola and quintadina on the swell. Beautiful sort of woody sound there. Moving on to the 8 and 4 flutes on the swell, 8 and 4 on the choir, and 8 and 4 on the great, and then I'll couple them all together again. Let's try the 8-4-2 flutes on the swell against the 8-4-2 flutes on the choir. Okay, here's the principle on its own on the great. And here's the principal chorus 8, 8 and 4 on all the manuals separately, and then I'll couple them together. Hear the up to 2-foot choruses on all the keyboards, again separately, and then I'll couple them. Okay, I think it's about time to add some mixtures into the mix. So here we go. Again, separately and then together. I'm going to do a couple I prepared earlier now. So here's a sort of Plein Jeu, sort of mixture-y thing with an 8-foot reed on the pedal and some other stuff in the mix as well. We use this for sort of degree movements. We've also got a trio texture, so a sort of cornet up on the swell and then a Cromorne down on the choir with just an 8-foot flute in the bass. And then probably the thing you've been waiting to hear, a bit of Plein Jeu with the fiery reeds coming out in full force. We're going to have the swell strings now with the 2-foot knacked horn on the pedal. My favourite stop on the whole organ, actually. I'm now going to do the 4-foot flute with a tremulant on the swell as my accompaniment, and I'm going to show you some of the cornets we can use. So we've got the 4, 2 and Larigot down an octave on the choir against the 8, 4 flutes and the 2 2/3 quint on the grate. Next, I'm going to do. Well, let's have the strings again. This time with the flute in the mix. I'm going to have the Cromorne and the Gedacht on the choir, and then I'm going to do a sort of another Cornet on the grate, maybe 8 and 4 flutes, 2 2/3, and then the terzian, maybe a bit of 32 foot, 10 2/3 on the pedal. I'm going to try all the 8 foots on the organ now, along with the 16-foot quintadina, which we've not heard yet, on the grate. And this will really descend to the depths here, maybe adding the sub-octave as well. Talking about the sub-octave, useful in sort of tournemire and that kind of thing. We're going to try the 8-foot Vox Humana with a tremulant and the strings as well, why not? And then we'll have the 8-foot on the grate with that sub-octave on, bit of pedal, 10 2/3 as well. We'll couple it all together and see what we come out with. You've been very patient with my improvisations. Thank you very much. I'm going to just finish now with one, starting off on just a few stops, getting up to very, very full organ, and then coming back away again. Right, wish me luck. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little demonstration of a fabulous, really, really wonderful organ. And I hope you tune in to the recital that I've given here. Had a lot of fun putting that together with Richard. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and cheerio.